Brenner Mills, Minnesota Vikings. Just want to win one before I die.
I'm Riley Mills, and I didn't go to college. Bear down, baby.
Lane Cooner, the conductor of the Baker train.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. It's Wide Eye Wednesday. We got our boy Spoon joining us. Bryn hosting as always. Riley is unable to join us this week due to some work complications. So make sure, in honor of Riley not being here, you like and subscribe to the video to show some love. And maybe next time, with your love, he'll want to be here. So just do that for us real quick. We appreciate you. But with that, we'll jump right into things. Every week on the show, we do our biggest winners and our biggest losers from the prior week, and that would be week 11. Jesus, we are 11 weeks into the NFL season. We're 11 weeks into the football season. That's crazy. Do you want me to go first? Or you want to go first? I'll go first. Okay. So my biggest winner this week are the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers started off 3-3. They are now 7-3. 4 out of the last 5. They have been playing really, really, really well. They have the number 1 statistical defense in the league. In that 5 games, they're plus 57 in the point differential. The offense showed up against the Bengals and showed they could put up points with anybody. Now, it was against a bad defense. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that, but they still showed up when they needed to. A win's a win, a dub's a dub, and I have been super impressed by them. And I think I like Jim Harbaugh, and I think he's getting this team right, and I just can't wait to see what they do in the future. Who's your biggest winner?
So my biggest winner is it's kind of a duo type thing. It's going to be the Broncos overall, but Bo Nix really. So the Broncos only giving up 6 points to the Atlanta Falcons. That's huge. That showed how dominant this Denver Bronco defense really is.
Agree with that 100%.
Bo Nix also, he played a damn near perfect game, only throwing 5 incompletions, no interceptions, 145 passer rating. I get that you don't like it because they're short passes, but guess what? He's getting in there. He's doing the job that he needs to do to win. Putting up 38 on Atlanta is pretty freaking awesome.
I mean, 3 of his touchdowns were on screen passes, and the other one was a 7-yard slant. It just doesn't.
Don't care.
I'm not
307
mad.
yards, 4 TDs, no INTs.
And 0 passes of 20 yards or more. I'm not mad at Bo Nix. I just don't think he should get credit for being this franchise quarterback when he's doing things that bottom tier quarterbacks can do. Sean Payton is drawing up a magical system to help him succeed and help the Broncos win. And I hate giving Sean Payton any credit. I would love to be like, no, Sean Payton's garbage and Bo Nix is carrying this team. I would love for that to be the case. But it's not. Sean Payton is carrying this with scheme. It's similar to Detroit. Jared Goff isn't some all-world quarterback, but Ben Johnson is drawing up a scheme that makes him look like that. Like, Bo Nix averaged 4 yards per target, air yards per target. So,
but you still have to put a guy in there to go in and do his job and do it well. And that's exactly what he's doing.
There are 100 other people on this planet that can do the things that Bo Nix is doing. And I know that's crazy. There's 100 other, in the NFL that's a lot, but in the world that's a little. So I just feel like most college quarterbacks could come in and run that system. If you put Drake May or Jaden Daniels in that system, they would have double the statistical success. Maybe not double. He wouldn't be throwing for 600 yards. I shouldn't say it that way. But they would have more statistical success than Bo Nix is having, and the Broncos would be able to do more in general. So I'm not dissing on Bo Nix. I don't dislike him as a person. I just don't think that he's the reason the Broncos are winning. That's my only thing. I like him as a person. He's playing good. He's just not the overall reason for their success. And I just don't want it to get confused with me hating on Bo Nix because he's playing good. He deserves his credit. He's doing good. I just don't think he's that franchise rock. But that's just me. That's just me. I know there's a lot of people who disagree, and I respect your opinion to have him as the biggest winner this week. But moving on from winners, let's talk about losers. My biggest loser this week, I almost took the Cowboys, so you didn't have to do it. Just get out.
There's 2 teams that I'm just going to go ahead and say. I'm not going to name them, but we could name them every single week. It's the Cowboys and the Bears. Yeah. I'm not going to personally do that because the Bears Probably should have beat the Packers. They screwed up there.
Yeah.
Cowboys they look dog shit like every single week. But I wasn't gonna go there. I was gonna try to find something else to go with. And honestly,
I found another team. That's my biggest
okay.
loser. So I mean, if it might be yours, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the New York Giants.
Okay.
Was that yours?
No, that was not mine.
Okay. So New York just benched a $40 million quarterback, and in which they do have an out next season. They can get rid of him after next year. So after 2025, they can get rid of him, but that will still cost them $22 million in a void year. So even if you get rid of him, you're paying him $22 million not to play for you. And on top of that, you have no long-term plan at quarterback outside of hopefully you have a good enough draft position to get somebody. And even then, if you do end up with the number 1 overall pick, let's say Shadur Sanders is your number 1 guy and you want him, he's going to pull an Eli Manning because Dion's already said he's not going to a cold weather city. So yeah, it's just a bad situation in New York. I think Sam Darnold will be the quarterback, but that's a future event. I think that we're going to obviously move on to JJ McCarthy, and I think Sam Darnold has proven that he can play in the league, and I think that that's a very strong candidate to be the next quarterback of the New York Giants. But anyways, they are my biggest loser. Their defense is mid. It's 8th in yards per play, 8th from the bottom, and then 27th in takeaways. They haven't been playing well in defense. Their offense is horrible. The only thing they have going for them is Malik Neighbors, and that's it. So, Spoon, what do you got?
So I have 2 realistic biggest losers. I said one of them on the last show. It's Evan McPherson. I mean, dude, your job is to make field goals. You got to make at least one of those 2 to put the game away. I mean, he missed a field goal. The Chargers immediately go 4 and out. They kick it right back to the Bengals, and they go right down the field, kick another field goal, miss. Come on, dude. Should have been a dub. You got to make your field goals. The other biggest loser is the Commanders' defense.
Mm-hmm.
So my reason for that was my big one, because the Commanders had the lead on the Eagles going into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, so I was actually going to bring something up that this works out perfectly. Do you mind if I show everybody?
Yeah, go ahead.
Something?
Absolutely.
So I have the win probability chart here for the Commanders versus Eagles, and the Commanders had more of a chance to win this game than the Eagles did most of the time. So here's the win probability chart. And so the middle is 50%, right? So 50% either way, 100%, 100%. And the Eagles start off in favor, but then the majority of the game is all Washington until you get into that 4th quarter. And then Washington even has a little hope there. And then midway through the 4th, it's just game over.
It's just game over. And that's my thing is that, going into the 4th quarter, it was a 10-6 game. Commanders had the lead. They gave up a total of 20 unanswered points. So, okay, maybe not unanswered. I probably said that wrong, but they gave up 20 straight points.
Yeah, 20 points.
And then the Commanders finally score a touchdown at the very end of the game, go for 2 to make it a 1-possession game, still down 8 points, but still, like, you can't be – that means that the game at one point was 26-10 out of the Commanders' reach, and your defense can't be doing that. Your defense cannot give up 20 points and cost you guys the game all the way at the end of the game. Yeah,
I agree. You know what prevent defense does? It prevents you from winning the game. So take notes. All right. So I have one more biggest loser for us this week. Are you ready for this?
Damn, we got losers left and right.
It's us. We are the biggest loser. Because if you don't know, throughout the entire offseason, we predicted each week, week by week, and recorded all of our predictions and who we thought would win what game. The only rules were everybody had to pick a team in the matchup, and Ty went to the home team. So I'm going to pull up the very, very negative situation we had.
Ooh, and yep. I'm already looking at it.
Yeah, this was our week. Get it? Can I not? There we go. This was our week. It was not good. It was very bad week here for Wide Eye Sports at the time. At the time we had 4 people on the show, so that's why there's 4 votes on each team.
We had
the Dallas one. I will say I was the only person to pick Houston, but that's about all I remember. I've been saying that Houston will win the Texas game because they're now America's team. But
Okay, chill out now. They don't have that type of fan base yet.
That's fair. But yeah, the Jets losing is crazy. The Chargers winning we saw coming, but Kansas City, San Francisco, Atlanta, Baltimore, Cleveland, New England, and Chicago all lose. We got Philly right. We got Detroit. I think I was the only one to pick against Detroit there. Miami, Minnesota. I think Dalton, the guy who's no longer on the show but was with us then, was the only person to pick against Minnesota. And then the Chargers. Yeah, this was a bad week for us.
Now, realistically, if we could make these picks every single week, I think we'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, so I brought it up. So I brought it up last week for those of you who don't watch the show weekly. I brought it up last week. So the Caps Off podcast, their best guy is at 57%, and they pick weekly. And we are at 54%, and we made these predictions in July for this week. And it goes all the way back to May. So we were 5-9 this week. That moves us to 90 and 76 on the season with a 54% win percentage on the season. And like I said, Caps Off podcast, they're at 57. Their best is at 57% on the season. So I'm just saying, not that we would have picked. This week we would have gotten a couple more right, I feel like, because I would have picked Houston over Dallas. I would have probably picked. I picked Buffalo over Kansas City. I would have taken Denver over Atlanta. I took Pittsburgh. I probably still would have taken Cleveland over New Orleans. I was 50-50 in that game. I definitely would have taken the Rams in the New England game. And then I did take Chicago, so I'd have been wrong there still. But,
looking at it, I would have took Houston. Jets, Colts, I probably still would have stuck with the Jets.
I would have stuck with the Jets.
Buffalo and Chiefs, I had Buffalo winning that game.
I bet on Buffalo.
I probably would have stuck with San Francisco. Atlanta, Denver, that's a toss-up. I'm not going to say anything. But Pittsburgh, I win. Yep. Cleveland's a toss-up. Rams, I definitely picked the Rams to win. And I'm going to be honest, I would have took the Packers to beat the Bears. So
I had Chicago, so and they should have won that game.
So I probably would have. I would have lost 4 games this week.
So yeah, that was our whole being held accountable session, and I forgot to pull up the other thing. Give me 2 seconds here. So
yeah, we got to make some picks, my guy.
I was about to say every week we pick the spreads for the following week, and I got to pull up the web page here. It's currently loading. It just loaded, so I will now pull that up on the screen. All right, so every week we go through, we give our thoughts on the spread. We talk about over under money line, but we don't spend too much time on that. Main focus is the spread, and then we give a star rating 1 to 5 on how confident we are in that pick. So first things first, Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland Browns. I'm taking the Steelers minus 3.5, 4 stars here. Not a hard one for me.
Yeah, not hard at all. I'm taking the Steelers minus 3.5 as well, and I'm going to 4-star that.
Perfect. And then we move along here, and it goes kind of quick sometimes, other times not so much. We have Vikings at Bears, and I'm so sad Riley isn't here. As you saw by the intro, Riley is a Bears fan. I am taking the Chicago Bears plus 3.5
Wow, okay.
And I'm going to 4-star that. There was I believe it was a 12-year period in which the Vikings did not win a game at Soldier Field. It's a huge thing among Vikings fans. We're cursed there. It was like from 2008 to like 2021. We didn't win a single game at Soldier Field, no matter how bad the Bears were. It just didn't happen. So the Vikings are coming off a 3-game win streak, 2 games on the road. This will be our 3rd consecutive team on the road. The Bears are getting edged out by other teams constantly. I feel like the Bears have a really good shot to make this a 3-point game, if not win it. It would be. I'm very scared of losing this game. I am more scared of losing this game than I have been any other game this season. I was way more confident, now we lost, to beat Detroit than I am that we were going to beat the Bears at Soldier Field. Now, when they come to Minnesota, different ball game. I will wax them. But in Chicago, it's a weird thing. I'm going to take the Bears 3 stars plus 3.5.
Yeah, I can't do that. The Bears have been. I mean, they played decent last week. They're still struggling quite a bit. What really helped them out last week was their run game. I do not think the Bears are going to be able to run the ball that well against the Vikings.
Nope.
So I'm going to take the Vikings -3.5, and I'm going to 3-star that.
So here's my thought with that real quick before we move on. The Vikings defense, the way you beat them is by dumping the ball off short and then hitting balls like 15 yards over the middle. If you do that, if those are the only plays you run, you'll beat the Vikings because Brian Flores blitzes a lot, and he'll give you those short underneath passes and those over the middle passes, hoping that he gets pressure before you can get the ball out.
And that's my thing is Caleb Williams is still struggling under pressure from what I see.
DJ Moore will light us. Start DJ Moore. If you're listening to this, start DJ Moore. He will put up 30 points this week. Personal guarantee.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah, if you have DeAndre Swift and you're playing him in the flex like I did last week, which worked out pretty well for me.
I wouldn't do that, though.
But this week, I would not do that. You're going against the number one rushing defense when it goes to yards per game. Do not start DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, Vikings are the number one team on design run plays. I wouldn't try to run the ball against them, but they are vulnerable in the pass game short because they don't allow big. Their number one thing is we're not going to allow big plays, and we're not going to let you run the ball. So you're going to have to dink and dunk all day to consistently put up points. And a lot of people don't have the patience to do that, but it's the Bears. It's weird. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it happens every year. So, all right, we'll move on. Buccaneers at the New York Giants. I'm going to take Bucks -5.5 and a 2-star. They're not quite fully healthy yet, so I don't know if they beat them by a full score or if it's a 4-point game. It's somewhere between 4 and 7 for me, so that's why I'm only 2-starring it, but I do like the Buccaneers. And a backup quarterback first game. Sorry, I had to add that in real quick.
Yeah, the backup quarterback first game is kind of scaring me. It's scaring me a little bit, but I still want to lean towards the Bucks here. I saw in the injury report that Mike Evans is supposed to be back for this game. He did practice. He was spotted on the field yesterday practicing, so I'm very happy about that. Best thing that, honestly, they're a huge winner from last week because their bye week couldn't have happened at a better time for them.
Better time.
Get some of these healthy guys back. I am taking the Bucks -5.5. I'm riding that Baker train. I'm still staying on it, and I'm going to 3-star that.
Fair enough. Not mad at it. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Dolphins. I'm actually going to take the Patriots +7 here in a 3-star just because the defense isn't bad, and they've played some close games this year. Miami's been very streaky. I don't trust this Dolphins team to just go out there and boat race anybody yet. So I'm going to take the Patriots +7 here in a 2-star. I almost said 1-star, but I'll 2-star it.
The Dolphins are coming off a pretty big home win, 15 points over the Raiders. That's not huge, but
it's the Raiders. It is
the Raiders, and the Raiders they're kind of streaky. You never know. I mean, they played a close game against the Chiefs. Patriots are coming off a loss to the Rams. I think the Dolphins win this. By 6. Patriots are home too. The Rams had to travel across country to go see.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think. Looking at this, I love the 7 spread. If you want to buy it down to 6.5, I would love it even more because I think the Dolphins handily win this game by a touchdown or more. And I'm gonna 4-star them.
Hey, like I said, I'm only at a 2-star, so I'm not mad at it. It's if you're that confident, I believe you. I'm not.
I think you just had to give this Dolphins offense just a few weeks to get back on track. It's looking like they're about back on track, so I'm happy with it.
We'll see. All right, Titans at Texans. I'm going to take the Texans -8.5 here and run to the bank. 4 stars.
It's a lot of points. The Titans do play teams kind of close. They did not play the Vikings that close last week, though.
Cowboys are a better team than the Titans.
I don't know if I would say that.
I would. I watching the Titans last week, they look abysmal. I mean, quite literally outside of the 98-yard touchdown, which was a huge play and super exciting for them.
Yeah.
And it was a busted coverage. Like our free safety just didn't get there in time and like tried to turn around and tripped. Like other than that play, they did nothing all day. Like I'm the most anxious person when watching a Vikings game. I get so tense and anxious. Never even a concern. Never felt threatened. Never was like, oh, this is a big down here. Oh, this is a big part of the game. I was like, we're going to win this game. There's no way we lose this game.
So I'm leaning towards the Texans -8.5, but I don't think I'm confident enough to 4-star it. I think I'm only confident enough to 2-star it.
That's fair. I'm not mad at you for it. That is a lot of points, so I'm not mad at you.
A lot of points.
Next, we have Chiefs and Panthers.
Yeah.
So I had a prediction last week, not on the show, just in my personal life. I was like, it'd be crazy. The Chiefs go beat the Bills and they lose to the Panthers or something like that. And I'm going to stick with it. Panthers +10.5. I think Kansas City is going to be emotionally drained. They're not going to wipe the floor with the Panthers. They're going to win, but they're not going to wipe the floor with the Panthers. And they're going to continue to be bumpy until we get to the playoffs. And then they're going to turn it on like they always do and make a run. So I'm going to take Kansas City Carolina +10.5. I'm going to 3-star that because Kansas City doesn't generally blow teams out. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at as well. And I mean, I've said it on the show before. I've been saying that the Chiefs keep winning these one-possession games over and over again. I don't think they have the last team they beat was the Saints like 5-6 weeks ago, where they actually beat them by more than a score.
Yep.
I think the Panthers are just that bad, though, man. I don't think that they will be able to cover 10 points. I think they're going to end up losing by 14 or more, and I'm going to rock with the Chiefs, but I'm only going to 2-star that just because that is a ton of points, and I hate betting on that many points.
That's fair. I hate betting on that many points, too, to be honest. That's why I took the other way. So we have Dallas Cowboys at Washington Commanders and another 10-point spread. And
is there any good games this week? Jeez. I'm not gonna lie, I did not look ahead, and it just
the Vikings-Bears game is gonna be good, I promise. I just hope we win it. I don't like either of these. I hate them both. I'm gonna take Washington on a 0 stars because I hate both. I hate this so much.
See, this is where I'm opposite. I'm gonna take the Commanders and I'm gonna 3-star it. I think the Commanders easily beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are just not good at all. Our play calling is abysmal. I am looking at that 44.5. I do think the Cowboys will end up scoring maybe 10 to 20 on this bad defense, but I do think the Commanders are going to be able to easily put up 30 on us.
That's a lot of points, man.
I know.
A lot of points.
I'm looking at that over. I'm checking it out. Looks enticing.
44?
Yep.
All right. We'll see. Lions at Colts. I'm going to take the Lions -7.5. I'm going to 5-star this after watching them dominate the Jacksonville Jaguars in the way they did. I think they can beat this Colts team by 7 points or more, or 8 points or more. Now the Colts are coming off a win, but it's against the overhyped, yes, I said it, overhyped New York Jets. We've continuously given the Jets the credit of, well, they have Aaron Rodgers, so they have a chance. It's no longer they have Aaron Rodgers, they have a chance. They're overhyped. They're a bad football team. They fired their GM today. They are bad. They lost to the fucking Colts. Bad football team. Yep. Detroit, 3 stars, -7.5. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going to take their points. I would 4-star it if it was 7 points or less, but with that half a point, I'm just going to bring it down to a 3-star. The Lions have been blowing everybody out. I don't see them losing this by 10 points or not beating them by 10 points or more or less. So I definitely think that they're probably going to cover this, but I don't know. The Colts can be streaky sometimes, and you never know with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is like, he'll have a really good game, and then the next week he'll have a bad game. So I'm just going to 3-star this since the Colts are at home.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think the Colts can go as far as Anthony Richardson is willing to take them. I just don't know if he has it in him to take them that far yet.
Yeah, I don't know. He's still young, still a new quarterback.
Only has like 9 starts. He's got a lot going on still. He has a long road in front of him. So Broncos at Raiders. I'm gonna take the Broncos -5.5 here. 5 stars.
Man,
the Raiders might not score a touchdown in this game. Who's gonna score for them? Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison is gonna go off on the Broncos. No, Broncos 5 stars -5.5.
I'm not going to 5-star it, but I'm going to take the Broncos -5.5. I'm going to go down to 4-star. That's still pretty confident that they can cover this. The Raiders, the thing is though, the Raiders are home. It's a division game. It could be close.
But
it
a
could end up
home
being
game
like
in Las Vegas is basically
it's
a road game.
road game. I know. I don't know.
I
I get
All
it.
right. Not mad at the 4 stars. Not mad at the 4 stars at all. Oh. Yes,
Finally.
do we have any good games?
Finally,
Do we have any good games? We have
Actually,
the
the next-
49ers.
the next 3 should be really good games.
The 49ers at the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers have been a 500 or just under team all year. I think they've only broke 500 once all season, and they've immediately reverted and then lost another game. The Packers have been the little brother to the Niners for the past 6-7 years. Every time the Packers get hot or think they're going to put a team together, they run into the bully that has been the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't think it changes. Man. Jordan Love is not Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is a diet Brett Favre so far. He can get really hot sometimes, but he can get just as cold. And I don't trust Jordan Love to go out there and just beat the 49ers. And I'm going to take the Niners plus 2.5 and a 1 star. Like, I'm not super confident in that, but I'm less confident in the Packers winning this game than I am the Niners making it a 2-point game.
I heard you say hot and cold.
Yep.
And I'm going towards that, but in a different way. It's going to be around 44, 45 degrees, which is pretty cold compared to what they get in San Francisco. I think that they're going to be a little slower. I think the under might end up hitting here. Home field advantage is definitely going to be in the Packers' favor. I'm going to take them minus 2.5, and I'm going to 2-star that. I'm not very confident in it either.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I see the Packers struggle a little bit. I also see the Niners struggle a little bit. So basically, we have two teams that are kind of struggling together.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't think it's going to be as good.
I like
of a game.
the under. I like the under in this game. I'm most confident in that under. I see this being more of a pillow fight. Jordan Love throws 2 interceptions and 3 touchdowns, and the Packers lose 24-27. That's the kind of game I see. McCaffrey has 2 touchdowns. Debo gets a score. That's just the kind of game I see. Couple field goals. All right. Cardinals
27.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that would be the over.
That would be the over, actually. You're right. Cardinals at Seahawks. Man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals plus 2 stars.
Yep, I'm taking the Cardinals as well. They look pretty hot right now. Kyler Murray's playing excellent. If you haven't seen our Friday,
Kyler Murray film breakdown, go check that out on the channel.
check it out. Their defense has only allowed 6 points last week and 9 points the week before, which is amazing. And then their offense is putting up 30 points on average the last 2 games. I'm taking the Cardinals, and I'm going to 3-star them. I know it's in Seattle, but I'm pretty confident.
Seattle lost to the Giants at home this season. The Seattle Seahawks are about as hot and cold as you can physically get. I know we just talked about that with the Niners and the Packers, but they just beat the Niners in Santa Clara, and they've also lost to the New York Giants in Seattle. So about as hot and cold as you can get as a team. So I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, and I can't throw that very far. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride with the Cardinals. Once again, if you haven't checked out the Kyler Murray film breakdown we did, I'll leave a link to that at some point in the video, so make sure to go check that out. So we have Philly at LA here. What do you think?
I know where I'm going. I'm taking Philly minus 2.5. Their offense looks hot. Their defense is starting to come together a little bit as the season goes along. I am going to 4-star that because I think they easily win this.
I am also taking Philly, but in a 1-star. I am not confident. It's really how they affect Matthew Stafford. They've affected quarterbacks really well this season and made them not play well, but they've also played a lot of bad quarterbacks this season. So Matthew Stafford is kind of unfazable. He's not one of those guys that gets scatterbrained or shaken. You're gonna have to be the better team to beat him, and he'll make a few mistakes. Don't get me wrong. He'll throw an interception or 2 every once in a while. He'll throw an interception a game, stuff like that. But they're calculated interceptions where I'm trying to fit this into a window to make a big play. So if that big play connects, That's an extra 7 points on the game. So we'll see. We shall see. Next up, we have. Is this the Monday night game?
This is the Monday
the
night
Monday
game.
night game. Yeah.
Thank
So
God we
Ravens
should
at
have a close
Chargers.
Monday night game this week.
A good Monday night. I mean, we had a good Monday night game this
No,
week.
we didn't. No, we did not. 34-10. Come on now.
Oh wait, that was Sunday night. I'm thinking Sunday night.
Sunday
Sorry.
night was
Sorry.
really good, and we're gonna
Sunday
have
night
it
was
this
good.
week. We're gonna have a really good Sunday night game and a really good Monday night game.
Yep. Sorry, I was thinking of Sunday night football. Ravens at Chargers. Ravens are -3 at LA, which once again is kind of a home game for anybody traveling.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm taking the Ravens -3, and I'm going to 4-star it. The Ravens are going to be pissed off after just losing to the Steelers. They're not going to drop back-to-back games at all. I'm rocking with the Ravens.
Yeah, I kind of got to go with the I got to go with the Ravens. Do you know? I'm not 100% sure on this, but I realized something the other day. When John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl, do you realize who he was coaching against? When the Ravens won a Super Bowl, who was the opponent?
The 49ers.
Yeah, and their coach was?
Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never put that together until this week. And I was like, oh my God. Like, nobody ever talks about that when talking. Imagine how awkward
crazy.
that would be at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, showing off your Super Bowl ring to Thanksgiving dinner and then being like, oh, yeah, remember that time I beat you in a Super Bowl? Remember that time I took your dream from you?
Just the fact that two brothers were head coaches and went against each other in the Super Bowl alone is still iconic.
I was like a junior in high school when that happened, so I don't remember a ton of it, like the deep football knowledge of it. So like it was probably talked about a ton. I just don't remember it. And I was like, oh my God, they coached in a Super Bowl against each other. Like that would be wild. Like your brothers on the other sideline. I'd be so like, I'd feel bad winning that. I'd feel slightly bad winning that.
Yeah.
But
I think it's cool.
It's dope. It's a great story.
We got the Harbaugh Bowl on Monday night.
Harbaugh Bowl on Monday Night Football. But yeah, you got anything else you want to add to the show? All right. Well, make sure to check out our latest Film Friday. It'll be on the channel this Friday, obviously. And that will be Matthew Stafford. We're going to break down Matthew Stafford's Week 11 performance. He was slinging the ball all over on New England and a pretty good defense up there. So we're going to take a look at that raw film breakdown. So make sure to check it out. Other than that, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We appreciate you.
Sorry, Broncos fans. I tried to get Bo Nix in there, but Brenner wouldn't let me.
I'm not gonna Bo Nix throw the ball 3 yards for 30 minutes. Peace out, guys.